What's going on, world? DS1 Ross, and I'm back. Shout out to everybody. Sorry for the the lateness. You know, um, I just couldn't get to it, family. But I appreciate y'all tuning in or tuning back in. You know, um, Shout out to my brother Darren. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Um, as always, if you are new here, Thomas Moreland, appreciate you. Shout out to you. And like I said, if you haven't yet, or if you're not too familiar with my content, go and check out the playlist section of this channel. And there lies all my series. I do series on this channel. I do a Black History Month series every year. 2019 is my third year. You could go check out 2017, 2018, and 2019. The Black History Month series is basically me comprising 10 black leaders that are not spoken about in the school system, and I feel like those are people that we should know about, understand their plight, understand their accomplishments. So I do that here every year, right on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Also, you can check out my Real Relationship series, the Real Relationship series. Um, that is a series I do on relationships. So it's just a play on the word, relationship, relationship. Go and check that out. Also have a Matrix series where I, delve into my perspective on what the Matrix is and things like that. So if you're into that information, also check that out. If you're here, do me a favor, hit the like button, smash the like button, share the show, share this show, please. And if you like the content, don't be hesitant to donate. Go ahead and hit the donate button. You could hit the super chat, you could hit Streamlabs, however, but don't hesitate to donate if you appreciate the content. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I appreciate y'all time and y'all support as always. But this afternoon, I want to talk about something that is very, very dear to me. This topic is something that I don't think a lot of the older generations, like the baby boomers and all of them, I don't really think they actually thought about this concept. I feel like a lot of them think about it now, because the way things are set up now. But a lot of our family, mainly our parents, they were dream killers. You know, a lot of us are not doing what we dreamed to do when we were children. And not to say that you're always going to do that, but a lot of us are not doing what we like to do because we've been programmed by our parents to follow what's been taught to them. So it's just another form of indoctrination, but from your parents. How many of us out here actually is doing what we really want to do when it comes to enjoying life and participating in life the way you want to? How many of us are in our dream jobs right now? How many of us is working in a career that is really something that we like. You know, when you're a kid and they ask you, what do you want to grow up and be in life when you're in school? If you remember what you answered, are you that now? And just ask yourself, why aren't you those things? Was it a time in your life where you actually sat down and told your parents what you wanted to be? And did they encourage you to be that? You know? Did they support your dreams? Did they support you wholeheartedly in whatever you done? When you play little league football, was your mom at every game? Did your mom even come to practice? Did your mom even knew you played football, that you liked football? Do your mom know you like to draw? Did she ever try to sign you up to an art school because she knew you knew how to draw? You know, think about all those things. Think about all those things. And if you have children, are you really connected to your children in that way? Do you know what your son like? Do you know what your son want to be? Or are you just molding and shaping him to be what you want him to be? Are you allowing him to be himself? See, a lot of us were not allowed to be ourselves. You see? This is why a lot of us as adults are so confused on where we want to go. And a lot of us, it's going to take us a lot longer to get there because we never had that clarity. And it's because all our life as children, people were sending us in so many different directions. And being that these were adults or people of some form of authority in your life, you listened to them. You did what they told you to do because that's what you were taught to do. But now that you've grown, go back as far as you can in your mind and think about, was those people telling you what was right? Were they directing you to go in the right path? Or was they just telling you some shit to do because they didn't do it? And what we got to understand is that our parents do the same thing. Shout out to Sarah. Sometimes our parents don't support us on what we really want to do. Our parents, for the most part, shape and mold us to be what they want us to be. How many of y'all actually, like I said, is actually have a testimony to say, I wanted to do this and I'm doing this now, and I've always had the support of my family. I've always had the support of my parents. How many of us is actually doing that? Shout out to Ty Brown on the check-in. You know, a lot of us really don't understand that as parents, man. You cannot be your child's dream killer because with the pressure of society and all of that, and people judging you, it's already difficult with you just trying to be you. So if you grew up where somebody told you what to do and they never allowed you to just be yourself, Of course, you're going to grow up and be dysfunctional. Of course, you're going to grow up and be lost and not know what to do because you wasn't taught how to be yourself. You wasn't taught that expressing yourself is good as a child because you weren't allowed to. You weren't allowed to express your creativity. Everything you done was tailored by your parents. No, you can't do this. You should do this. No, you shouldn't go to college for that. Go to college for this. Oh, well, you gotta go to college. You know? It's some kids that grow up and don't want to go. So, should we force our children to go anyway? Is that a good thing? Because we're parents and we have that authority, so we should use that authority for that? I don't think so. I don't think it's your job to totally let your child just go and be whatever. But if your child has an idea or they tell you what they want to do, I feel like as parents, we should always support it. Because it's coming from him or her. It's coming directly from them. See, you know why black people are so far behind? It's because the fact that we don't homegrown or build in house. We do everything from a outside perspective. You see? We don't groom our children to be exactly the things that we need as a people. And sometimes our children may want to partake in those things, but we send them another direction. Like you may have an artist sitting right at your kitchen table every day, but you want him to be a football player. You wanted him to go to the NFL. You may have a politician sitting at the table, but you want him to go and be a basketball player because he's 6'5". So because he's 6'5" and got long arms, all he good for is playing sports. And then what happens is you put all your money behind him and push him to play these sports. And deep down inside, he really don't want to be that. This is why a lot of kids, when they get older, kids that was forced into things as children, they always have those stories of them hating their parents. Because a lot of them didn't want to be celebrities. They didn't want to be stars as children. They didn't want to be in Hollywood. They didn't want to go to acting school, and a lot of them didn't want to do none of that stuff. A lot of them just wanted to be kids. They wanted to be children. And they weren't allowed to. And the things that they really liked and really wanted to do was suppressed. They had to suppress it. We have to stop doing that to our children, family. Because that's how you get the Michael Jacksons of the world. A great soul, great spirit. But he was robbed of his childhood. So as a grown man, he wanted to know how it felt to be a child. Because he was robbed of that. So we don't want to rob and steal our children's dreams from them. Because at the end of the day, that's where ideas are born. It's born in the imagination realm, in the realm of the unseen. That's how things are, that's where things start at, in the realm of thought. So if you basically compromise that realm, with superficial and selfish programs, and you implement that into your child, don't don't try to figure out why your child is not doing as good as you thought they would be doing. It's because they're actually living a life that they never wanted to live. You're living vicariously through your children. And a lot of us don't know that or don't notice that. Your dad don't just want you to play ball because you're good at it. He wants you to play ball because he didn't have the chance to be a star. So he want to make you a star. Your mom never had a chance to go be a model because she got pregnant when she was young. So now she gonna go make that little girl go be a model. And that little girl don't even want to be a model. You see? Dream killers. Because we gotta understand, when we do that to our children, we gotta understand that we're shutting off their creativity. That's what we're killing in our children when we kill their dreams. We're killing their ambition, their drive. Because see, we got to understand that people are great at things that they like to do. People are going to put the most effort into things that they like to do. So it goes the same thing for children. Peace and love, sis. Welcome to my sis Eunice. Thanks for tuning in. You see, you got to understand that. And then you wonder why your son 21, 22, and you don't know why he can't get himself together. It's because of you. Your son could have been a engineer right now, but you wanted your son to run track. Your son could have been a video game programmer, but you wanted him to go be a construction worker. We have to stop forcing our own shortcomings on our children. So because you wasn't successful as an accountant, you blew your opportunity as being an accountant, so you want to make your daughter go be an accountant. And she don't even want to do that. She go to bed and wake up every day with a headache because she got to focus and be great at something she don't even like. And then you wonder why some kids are committing suicide too. Because they're not being nurtured correctly. They're being controlled. You see? They're not allowed to express themselves like any other human being. See, we got to remember, just because these are our children, they're still human. You know? Your son got the same feelings just like you. We have to understand that. And we have to begin to treat our children as such, man. Our children are not here to be controlled in that manner. I'm not going to grow up and tell you what you're going to be. There's some things I will say you have to participate in, but overall, after you participated in it, if you don't like it, you don't have to do it anymore. You see? Cause see, I'm not gonna just let my son say, well, I don't want to do it, and then don't even allow them to try, because kids will do that too. If you sit back and allow your kid not to do shit, they won't. So in certain ways, you do have to be a little pushy. But like I said, after they try it and participate, if you didn't like it, then you don't have to do it. But you're just not gonna say, I'm not gonna do it because I don't want to do it. Because like I said, if you sit back and let a child do nothing, they'll never do anything. But it's not my job to tell my son, you know, because you 13 years old and you 6 feet, you got to go to the NBA. I don't tell my son that. My oldest son, I don't tell him that. I ask him what he want to do. Hey, what's going on, Raina woman? Appreciate it. I don't do that. Because at the end of the day, I want my children to naturally grow. And I want them to blossom into who they want to become. Because at the end of the day, when your children become grown, you want to make sure that they have enough confidence in themselves to want to go out and be something, whatever that is. So if you constantly, you know, shooting your kids' ideas down, always telling them, no, you can't do that, you got to do it this way, and that tears a kid down. That tears down the person not consciousness, but confidence. It makes them feel that their ideas are not good enough. It makes them start to feel inadequate. Like, why can't I become what I want to become? Why do I have to do it your way? Okay, I'll try it, but if I don't like it, why do I have to keep doing it? Then you wonder why, like I said, there's a lot of dysfunctional adults, because they was trained to be dysfunctional because what their parents instilled in them. Because that's what generally happens when you kill a kid's dreams. When a kid is telling you, mom or dad, I want to be an astronaut, and you telling him, no, you can't be an astronaut. You can't be an astronaut, you black. See, this is another thing. This is another reason why I denounced that whole pro-black shit. Because you have parents that's teaching their kids that they can't become nothing in society because they're black. I'm not going to tell my son that. I'm going to tell my son, you could become whatever you want, but you got to work 10 times, 20 times as harder as other people, because you are who you are. So you got to work, and you want to work to run your own shit. You don't want to work to keep working for people. You see? I'm not going to tell my son he can't become that. I'm not going to do that. Because then you know what he's going to say? He's going to say, damn, my whole life I wanted to be this. And the people who I look up to the most, and the people who I expect to support me the most, just threw my whole dreams in the trash. Do you know what that could do to some people? That could make a person suicidal. That could make a person get hooked on drugs. That can make a person do that type of stuff because you're constantly beating them down. And I know some parents think that that's the right thing to do. Like, oh, that's what you're supposed to do. You're being a good parent when you're doing that. Says who? Who said you being a good parent? You're not being a good parent because what you're doing is you're teaching out of fear. You're telling them not to do that because what if it don't work? See, that's what I was told. That's what I was told. Growing up, I wanted to be a veterinarian. Growing up, I love animals. I wanted to be a veterinarian. Specifically, I wanted to be a herpetologist because ever since I was a little boy, I loved reptiles. I love snakes. I love lizards and frogs and, you know, and I wanted to go to school for that. I wanted to go to college for herpetology. Herpetology is the study of reptiles. I wanted to be a herpetologist. I was going to go to school for zoology first because my ultimate goal in life was to own a reptile store and sell reptiles and teach kids that reptiles are not evil, snakes are not evil. That's what I wanted to be. You know what I was told? Well, they're not hiring for zoologists right now. You need to go to school for business. Hence, I have a business degree. And I took that business degree and wasn't able to do shit with it. Because fresh out of school with my business degree, we had the goddamn recession. So I took my business degree and did other type of business. Because business is business. And that shit fucked my mindset up. That's what happened. You know, that messed up my mind. It made me look at the world different. I had to reevaluate where I wanted to be in life at that point. Because all my life I thought I was going to be one thing. And I thought I would get support on doing those things, and I didn't. You know? And that led to a whole bunch of other things. This is why we cannot be dream killers. My sis Eunice, she just put in the chat, that was the reason I didn't pursue my singing career. You see? Dream killers. You could be famous right now, sis. You know? Who knows? Shit. I know you older than me. I probably would have your album. You know, I probably would have bought your CDs and stuff like that. If you was allowed to live out your dream. You know? But see, people only think about that years later. And you start to go back and realize, like, damn, I really fucked up my kid's life. You know, a lot of parents don't think about that until their children is 30, 40 years old and they wondering, damn, why my child isn't as successful as I thought he would. It's because you killed his dreams. You killed her dreams. So she had to find her a new way. You set your child back 10, 15 years. Because if you would have believed in them and invested in their dreams would have came true. Shout out to the great moderator, my sis, Poetic Cows. See, we got to understand how serious this shit is, family. You see? That's what happens. That's what happens. That's what happens. You could still sing, you just have to, you gotta open that part up in you again. You gotta unlock it because you locked yourself up. I know what you're saying, sis, because it even happened to me. Like after, you know, my dreams were shattered with me wanting to be a herpetologist and all of those types of things. I noticed as I got older, when I would go to handle a snake or a lizard or something, I would be nervous. When before I was never nervous. That's because people got to understand, especially the parents, when you kill your child's dream, you shutting them down. You're shutting them down. You cannot do that to your child, man. Stop trying to live vicariously through your children. Then when your child end up in jail from doing some extra shit, you wondering why he doing extra shit. It's because you ain't never support what he really wanted to do. And that's the real problem. The real problem is that a lot of us are not being supported by our family. We're not being supported. Nobody's saying, yeah, go and do it. I'm glad you doing that. Keep doing your thing. What do you need? What you doing? How many of us do that? Other nationalities do it. See, that's the purpose of having that is the purpose of eating with your family. Sitting down at the table and fellowshipping. That's the purpose of it. To get to know your family. To get to know what's going on with them. What happened this week? What happened in school? How you feel? How you been feeling? Things like that. What you been thinking about lately? What you working on? All those types of things. That's what that's for. Mom and dad job is to say, oh, well, you want to play football? All right, listen. Tell me how much everything is, and we're going to let you play football. Even when I wanted to play football, because I played football at one point. And I was like, man, maybe this is something I could do. You know? You know what my parents told me? Fear mongering. We don't want you to play football because you might get a concussion. You know? We don't want you getting concussions, and it's always something. But this is how a lot of parents operate. This is how a lot of them parent. They think being a good parent is stopping you from being who you want to be. That's not being a good parent. That's you being scared to relinquish control. That's what that is. You're afraid to let your child go out in the world and try something and fail because you're going to blame yourself for it. Oh, well, my son failed at that. Damn, I'm a fucked up dad. No, you not. That's life. That's life. Now, when he come back to you, he can say, Dad, I failed. And then it's your job to do one or two things. Uplift him and tell him to keep trying and don't give up if this is what he want to do. Or if you don't want to do this no more, let's figure out what you want to do next. There's not a lot of black parents out here that are like that support their children every step of the way because they can't. Because they're still in their own goddamn way in life. Because their dreams were stripped from them. Because they were told they couldn't be what they wanted to be. So they tell you that. And you know what they say? Well, they didn't turn out too bad, did they? That's the dumb shit we say to justify being dream killers to our children. We say shit like that, trying to justify it. We got to stop doing that type of stuff. Because these Generation Zs and after, why do you think a lot of them don't even listen to their parents? Because they already know. Man, you just telling me this shit because this is what you want me to do. You don't really care. You don't really care. Indeed. Indeed, sis. I know what you mean. The same thing happened to me. My dad did it to me. My mother, she never cared about my dreams and aspirations. She never even thought about them. She never even asked me about them. She didn't care. I never had those conversations with my mother. And when it was time for me to go to college, my pop shut my shit down. He told me go to school for business. Go be a businessman. Shout out to my brother Deep in Thought. And that shit is horrible. And I know my dad regret doing that shit. This is why, I spoke about this in my Matrix series, man. We have to start to look at people for exactly who they are. Take the labels off. People are just people, man. Your mom is just another person. She's your mom because she birthed you, but she's still a woman. She still is a person. What type of person she was before she had you? What type of person or what type of child your mother or father was before they became a parent? You got to think about those things when you wondering why you was taught to be dysfunctional. Because they grew up in the same dysfunction. You see? Their dreams were shut down and killed. Shit, they was living in a time where their dreams they had short-term goals. A lot of people from our parents' generation didn't go that far. So how far could they really teach you to go? Really? How far could they really tell you can go? How much could they really motivate you? How much could they really support you? And a lot of them, they know that they coming from a situation of lack, so they don't even try to support. They just never consider it. Like my mom, she never considered my dreams. When I was young and I wanted to get a snake for a pet, she said, hell no, because she was scared of snakes. She didn't care that her son loved snakes. It ain't had nothing to do with her son. It had something to do with her. You not bringing no snake in my house. You hear the selfishness? You're not bringing a snake in my house. So that means I don't care if you like it. See? Therein lies the problem. They don't care what you think because you're a child. There's a lot of parents who don't respect their children because they don't look at their children as people. They look at their children as possessions. Your child is not a goddamn box of salt in the supermarket, nigga. That's a human being. Big simple, we lit. Remember that. Your child is not an item that can be purchased. Your child is a human being. Stop treating your children like possessions. Because that's the problem. That's why these kids don't want to listen. Because you not listening. When are you gonna listen? Are you gonna listen when they 35? Or you gonna listen when they get behind the wall? That's when you gonna listen? So you ain't gonna listen to him now when he trying to tell you something. You want to tell him to shut up and be quiet and to listen to you. But you ain't never listened to him. And you wonder why you don't know why he doing what he doing. You don't know why he doing what he doing or why she doing what she doing because you ain't listening to him. You so busy wanting to be heard. Nigga, listen. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen to your fucking children. That's how you understand the type of child you have. By listening to them, not by talking to them all the goddamn time. Why don't you listen first? Instead of always ready to give up a lecture, listen. Because these group of children are special for a reason. You see? We always like throwing dirt on these kids, but these kids are special if you sit down and fucking listen. Get up off your high horse. Okay, mom? Okay, dad? Get off your fucking high horse and listen to your children. That's how you get to know a person, by listening. You got to know his mama, right? How you get to know his mama? You sit on the goddamn phone with her and talk to her for 12 fucking hours a day, but you don't even listen to your fucking daughter when she trying to tell you something. You just want to tell her what to do. You don't listen. That's why you don't know, because you don't listen. The same shit you would tell your child, you need to take heed to. And that's the problem with most adults. They don't know how to be parents because most of us learned on the fly. Most of us learned through observation. Well, my mother treated me this way, and I didn't come out too bad, so what would be wrong if I treated my son this way? This is the silly shit. But this is how a lot of us think. And this is why these kids don't listen to us, because we don't listen to them. We think it's all about us, and it's not about you. It's about them. It ain't about you, nigga. You a parent. It ain't about you no more. It's about them. You telling them what's best for them to help them, not for you to say, oh, look, I'm a great dad. Look, my son listened to me. No. You telling your son the right thing so when he get older, he know what the fuck to do when you're not around. You don't do that to basically stand up and hold your nuts, nigga. That's not why you become a good parent. You do that shit for your children. It ain't for you. A lot of you niggas is selfish, man. A lot of y'all parents are selfish. And y'all don't just want to admit that shit. But a lot of y'all selfish. Y'all are very selfish parents. Selfish. Because y'all don't know how to be selfless. Because y'all parents were selfish. And that's the way you protect yourself, by making them do it for you. But when are they ever going to do something for them? When they ever going to do what make them happy? When you ever going to be proud of them for something they've done on their own? For something you didn't encourage them to do? Something that strictly came from them? But I understand that's hard for most of y'all. Because it's like, well, if I let my child come up with the idea and I let him do what he do or do what she do, then if they fail, I gotta blame myself because I didn't put it on me. No, don't work like that. You supposed to let your children come up with things and let them know how it feels to win or to lose. They need to understand, they need to know that feeling for themselves. Because guess what? When they get out in the world and your ass is no longer the buffer between them and the world, what you gonna tell them then when they take a L? You see? This is why that way is the wrong way. Relinquish the cuffs on your children's minds. Let them be free thinkers. Let them. And if some shit come out that ain't looking the right way, you talk to them about it. You don't shame them. You don't shun them. You don't put them down. You don't tell them, oh, well, this is why you ain't gonna be shit because you wanted to do this. You don't talk to them kids like that, man. Don't do that, man. You wonder why these young boys and these young women are so quick to jump on adults? Because adults are always verbally attacking them. That's why. That's why they walk around hostile. And at the sign of an adult that represents authority, they think they gotta fight them. Because all their life, they were fighting to be heard. They were fighting to be heard. So now they don't want to hear shit. That's why they don't want to hear shit. Because you wasn't listening. If you not going to listen to them, why the fuck should they listen to you? Oh, because you mommy and daddy, huh? You really think that shit means something? It didn't mean shit to us when you wanted to do what you wanted to do. If your mama told you not to lead a block, but your homies want to go lead a block and y'all want to go do shit, you going to leave the block. So guess what, nigga? Your son and daughter's doing the same shit you was doing. And you know why? Because the same shit was going on between you and your parents is going on with you and your kids. You not listening to them. And that's why they not listening to you. They don't trust you enough because you don't listen. All you want to do is judge them, place judgment on them. You're not motivating them. You don't motivate somebody by putting them down. You motivate them by telling them how good they are and how you should try that. And if it don't work, we'll do something else. But how many children is actually being raised in that kind of environment where they're allowed to try things and fail? See? Shout out to my OG, Muhammad is the one. Peace to you, bro. See, we not paying attention to a lot of shit that we need to be paying attention to. See, because most of us that call ourselves parents, we're not fucking parents. You know what we are? We're maintainers. All we do is provide maintenance for our children. We make sure they can eat, we make sure they got clothes on their back, and we make sure they got somewhere to live. Those are the basic necessities to maintain a child. That's all most parents provide. They don't provide real guidance. You think guidance is just telling your fucking kid to go to school? You think that's guidance? Oh, go to school. So that's guidance. So you did them justice just by telling them go to school. You did your job, huh? You ain't did your fucking job. You half-assed it. That's what you did. You maintained your fucking children their whole life. You ain't raise them. You maintained them. You paid for them. You ain't raise them. Because if you raise them, they won't have no problem listening to you. You see? Because you got to teach a kid how to take instruction. But you can't beat a kid into submission, whether it's physically, mentally, or verbally, however. You can't do that to a child and then expect them to still respond. You can't do that. You can't kill your children's dreams and wonder why they on the corner selling drugs. You can't do that. That's your fault. That's your fault. We gotta stop being dream killers, man. We gotta stop doing that, man. This is a very touchy subject for me, man. Because nobody's allowed to really be who they are. It's only very few, man. Why do you think there's so many rich people that are unhappy? Why do you think some of the most wealthiest people give the most money away? It's not just because of fucking tax write-offs. You simple-minded niggas. It ain't just for tax write-offs. It's because giving makes them feel good. Because they don't want to do the shit that they doing. So they give to people to make them feel good about earning money from shit that they don't even really want to be doing. That's why they give to people. Because they want to see people happy. Because they ain't been happy. So they feel like to give back in the right way, let me make other people smile. Let me use my resources to make other people smile. It's not just for tax write-offs, man. Okay? Philanthropy it's not just a business thing, okay? It actually has some integrity attached to it. Stop killing your children's dreams, man. You wonder why, because see, I hear a lot of this talk on YouTube about, well, black people, we always sending our children to the NBA. Yeah, it's the fucking parents who's doing it. Because they're living vicariously through their children. And they broke and fucked up, so they want a quick come up. So they send their son to the NBA or send their daughter to the WNBA to get a quick check. It's not because that child actually, that's what their heart is leading them to. Shout out to my big brother Gad. You know, at one point with my oldest son, I used to get on his ass about video games. Used to get on his ass. And I thought about it one day, and the shit made me cry. The shit made me cry, man, because I thought about it. I said, damn, why I can't just let him be who he want to be? Why don't I sit down, shut the fuck up, and get to know why he liked this shit so much? And you know, when I did that, my mind opened up in a different way. Oh, you love games? All right. Well, we're gonna put you in a coding class so you can learn how to code. You know, you could build your own app, son. You know, they got they got teenagers who are millionaires who building apps. We're gonna put you in a coding class. You wanna know how these games work? We're gonna show you how they work. You can make your own game. How would that make you feel if you could work for Rockstar and then turn around and make your own game? This is the conversations we have now. And you know what he do more now? When we had those he talks more. He responds. Before, when I was down his throat, badgering him, judging him, you know what he'll do? He'll sit there and be quiet. He'll just sit there and won't say nothing. Now he talks. Now he's interested to tell me about games. Before he was afraid. Then y'all wonder why. Y'all wonder why these kids are so fucked up. You wonder why these kids don't care. Nigga, cause you don't. Cause you really don't care. You really don't care, nigga. You doing this shit for you. This is why I say, man, we gotta heal before we build. Because, shout out to Cool Gent, you could be thinking you building a motherfucking castle and you building a hut, nigga. You think you building a mansion, nigga. You building a dirt mound. We gotta stop killing our children's dreams, man. Because you only making it harder for them in the future. You only making it harder for them. And then when they become grown, you ain't got shit to offer but a fucking opinion. Then you wonder why you hear these young boys saying, I don't got no family. Fuck my family. Because your family is a group of dysfunctional people who don't know what it is to conduct themselves as a family. You can eat together with strangers, nigga. You can have fun with strangers, nigga. And that's why niggas run to the streets. That's why these young girls run into the arms of an old nigga and he fuck her life up. It's because of these dream killing parents, man. Shout out to Huey. It's because of you dream killing ass parents, man. Shit gotta stop, family. See, we could talk about the white man all we motherfucking want. But if you killed the dreams and the aspirations in your children, nigga, and your children grow up to be mediocre, don't fucking blame the white man. You can't blame the white man for that. Because you did it. You killed the dreams in your children, not the fucking world. You did. You did it, nigga. You did it. I don't want to hear shit about a system, motherfucker. Because if you know the system, you'll know not to do that. You will know if you do that, your children by default will become victims of the system. Stop killing your children's dreams. Stop it. It's not about you no more, nigga. Your time is up. If you wanted it to be about you, you shouldn't have had no fucking kids. It's no longer about you. You put all your dreams and aspirations on hold, nigga. And stop living through your fucking children. and let your children have their own life. You can't cover up your fuck ups by doing that. An NBA check ain't gonna fix you being a fucked up mother. A fucking NFL endorsement ain't gonna prove that you a piece of shit ass father. We see this every fucking day. Look at LeVar Ball. His father a piece of shit. And his son's going to the NBA ain't changed that shit. Look at LeBron's mother. That NBA check ain't stop her from being a hoe and embarrassing her son. It's about LeBron. It ain't about you. You fucking strag. It ain't about you. She thought it was about her. She started fucking his teammates. Because she trying to cover up from being a fucked up mother. So now her son owe her something because he went to the NBA. That little boy don't owe you shit. You better hope you instilled the right shit in him, and then maybe he'll give you something. But you're not owed anything from your children. Your children don't owe you shit. Don't owe you nothing. Their success is not predicated on you. You ain't the reason why they're gonna fucking succeed. It's gonna be because of them. It's gonna be because of the work they put in. Shout out to my brother Kenneth. Kenneth Nash, to be exact. Shout out to you, bro. Man, this shit gotta stop, man. We really love our children, man. We gotta show them we do. We can't just tell them. We can't just tell them. They gotta know. And you know how they know? By what the fuck you do and by what you say to them. So if you was a dream killer, and your child doesn't have the insight on certain things, man, it's gonna take them because it took me a long time. I'm 33 years old. It took me a long time to realize, man, that your parents is dysfunctional. And that they only taught you as much as they knew. So don't hold that shit against them. But how do you tell that to an 8-year-old boy? How do you tell that to a 12-year-old girl? How? They can't fathom that at that age. This is why I say healing is a process, not an event. It took me years to realize that shit. Like, damn, my parents are just people. They're not fucking superheroes. They're people. And they are two people who went through some traumatic shit. And all they learned how to do was cope. They didn't know how to heal, they learned how to cope. Hence why a lot of the Gen Xers dabbled in coke use, dabbled in crack use, alcoholics. These are coping mechanisms. They didn't heal. They didn't heal. They didn't know where to start. That never even crossed their mind. They thought it was normal. Do you understand how close slavery is to my family? My father's grandparents were fucking sharecroppers and farmers. That's how close slavery is to my family. My great grandparents, nigga, were slaves. My grandparents worked on a farm. So this shit was normalized, man. Shit seemed to be normal. But that's why they say the children of the future. Because the children is supposed to usher in new information, to usher in a new paradigm, a new form of thinking, a new way to do shit. So why the fuck are you still raising your kids the way you were raised? Is that fucking smart? Man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'll be back later on tonight, man. This is DS1 Ross representing Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Remember, y'all, we gotta heal before we build, man. We gotta heal before we build. We gotta stop being dream killers, man. Stop being dream killers, man. I'll be back later on.